Colleen Hoover's Woman Down 2026 is a psychological thriller that explores parasocial obsession, manipulation, and the blurred lines between fiction and reality. This entry continues your serialized playlist with strict numbering, and the summary itself is 1,500 words minimum. The SEO description will always be separate and not counted toward the word requirement. The novel begins with Petra Rose, a best-selling author whose career implodes after a controversial film adaptation of her work sparks backlash. Once adored by millions, Petra becomes cancelled, her reputation shredded by fans who accuse her of betrayal. Hoover sets the tone with unease and isolation, showing how fame can quickly transform into ruin. Petra retreats to a sterile, modern cabin by a remote lake, hoping to overcome writer's block and salvage her career. At the heart of the story lies Petra's desperation. She is haunted by failure, consumed by the need to prove herself again. Her solitude is interrupted one morning by flashing police lights. A man introduces himself as Detective Nathaniel Saint, claiming to investigate a nearby suicide. Petra, intrigued by his presence, begins to model her new protagonist on him. This encounter sparks the novel's central tension, the collision of Petra's imagination with reality. The narrative unfolds with Hoover's trademark blend of suspense and psychological depth. Petra grows increasingly reliant on Nathaniel, his charisma and mystery fueling her creativity. Yet subtle inconsistencies in his story raise questions. As Petra writes, she discovers that her fiction begins to mirror her reality in unsettling ways. Hoover blurs the line between truth and invention, forcing readers to question what is real. The twist reveals that Nathaniel is not a detective at all, but Eric Merrill Kingston, a failed screenwriter who has stalked Petra online for years. He infiltrates her life under false pretenses, staging incidents, including a fake home invasion, to manipulate her into writing again. Eric's obsession is parasitic, feeding on Petra's vulnerability and desperation. His presence transforms Petra's retreat into a prison, every moment of inspiration tainted by manipulation. Supporting characters are minimal, emphasizing Petra's isolation. Her interactions with the outside world are filtered through Eric's control, reinforcing themes of parasocial obsession and the dangers of misplaced trust. Hoover uses this claustrophobic setting to heighten the tension, showing how isolation magnifies fear. The middle of the novel intensifies the psychological warfare. Petra uncovers fragments of Eric's past, realizing the depth of his obsession. His manipulation escalates, blurring the line between encouragement and coercion. Petra's writing flourishes under his influence, yet she becomes horrified by the realization that her comeback novel is built on trauma Eric manufactured. Hoover portrays these moments with devastating impact, showing how ambition can erode morality. Hoover explores themes of identity, fame, and the dangers of parasocial relationships. Petra's journey reflects the universal struggle to balance ambition with authenticity, while the broader narrative highlights the fragility of reputation in the digital age. Together, these themes create a story that is both entertaining and profoundly unsettling. The climax delivers a chilling confrontation. Petra realizes the full extent of Eric's manipulation, his obsession revealed as both creative fuel and destructive force. She must decide whether to confront him or continue the cycle of exploitation. The resolution is haunting. Petra publishes her comeback novel, but Eric emails her about their next book, implying that the cycle of manipulation will continue. Hoover closes with ambiguity, leaving readers unsettled by the question of whether Petra is complicit or trapped. In the end, Woman Down is more than a psychological thriller. It is a meditation on ambition, obsession, and the dangers of blurred boundaries between art and life. Hoover reminds readers that creativity, when corrupted by manipulation, can become a weapon. The novel closes with a sense of dread, leaving readers haunted by the message that fame and obsession are inseparable in the digital age.